What's up everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to do something a little bit different. I realized I've been doing a lot more Pilates content and not a lot of yoga content. I actually originally started off teaching yoga before I moved into teaching Pilates, and I have taught the both on and off together for many years. I just hit my 15-year anniversary teaching. I thought, let's do a yoga video. And working with a client today made me realize one of the things that a lot of people come to either yoga or Pilates is due to low back pain. So I want to do some stretches, just a light, gentle yoga practice to kind of help with low back pain. But instead of just focusing on the back, what we're going to do is focus on everything around the back. So a lot of times back pain doesn't necessarily come from what's happening in the back. It comes from what's happening below or above the back. So things like tight hamstrings, tight hips, how we hold our body while we're working, walking, or anything like that, our posture, all of that affects our back often. So what I want to really focus on in this video today is kind of stretching out the hamstrings and opening up the hips a little bit so that we can kind of release the low back. So all you're gonna need is your mat and then something that you can have to slip your foot into. So I'm gonna be using the Pilates ring or the magic circle or the circle of death or the circle of doom, whatever you choose to call it. But you could do something like a towel, a belt, a tie, anything that's going to allow you to put your foot in there, extend the leg, and hold on to that. And you'll see that when we get to that. So let's go ahead and get started on our mat. So the first thing we want to do is just allow the low back to release. So we're going to just let that low back release into the mat. Get yourself nice and centered. Let's take a couple breaths here. So a big breath in and exhale. And breathe how it feels natural for you. Don't force the breath. So if you inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, or maybe you just inhale through the mouth or just through the nose. So big breath in. And then we're going to go ahead and take the soles of the feet together, letting the knees fall out to the side. And where you adjust the feet will depend on how your hips are. So if you're really tight in the hips and the back, go ahead and extend those feet a little bit further towards the front of the mat. So you're taking some of that pressure out of your tight hips. Let's take the arms out to the side with the palms up, rolling the shoulders down and grounding down into our mat. And then with each inhale, we want to fill the body with breath. So inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to let the low back sink down into the mat. Try to let the knees release a little bit further to the floor. And we're going to take a couple breaths here. Big breath in. And a big breath out. I started running again. I haven't run in a really long time. So I'm also very tight in my hips and my hamstrings right now from running. So this is also going to be a really good practice if you do any kind of activity like cycling, running, walking. It's going to help that as well. So let's take one more breath here. Big breath in and exhale. Just so we don't get into our back, we're going to bend the knees up and in one at a time. And let's go ahead and hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a good squeeze. And we're going to take a gentle rock side by side. Just massaging out that back. Maybe even doing little circles with the knees to massage into that back. And then let's come up to a seated position. And then we're going to come into a tabletop position. So on the hands and the knees. Knees stacked right under the hips. Wrist right under the shoulders. And we're going to take a couple breaths of our cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart and the gaze, arching into the back. Exhale, tuck the tail, round the spine, relax the head, push the floor away. And inhale. And exhale. Take 3 more breaths of your cat-cow. Moving your spine with your breath in a very fluid, water-like movement. Last breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then coming back into center. We're going to step the right foot up into a lunge position. If you need extra padding for your knee, just roll the mat in on the left side to pad that knee. I'm on a really thick mat, so I'm pretty good. We want to tuck the tail under, bring the hands onto the front thigh, and we're going to press those hips forward, really stretching into the left quad, the left hip flexor. Hold here for a couple breaths. And then we're going to back off. Take the hands to the mat, and we're going to walk the right foot up and over off the mat, and we're going to roll into the outer edge of that right foot, letting that right knee fall out to the floor. And then you can stay here, or you can come down onto the forearms. Wherever feels good for you, go ahead and stay there, breathing into that right hip. And then let's walk it back into center. Step back into tabletop, and let's step the left foot forward for the other side. So hands on the hips, press those hips forward, scooping the abs in, tucking the tail under so we're supporting that low back. Stretching all the way through the right side. Hold there and breathe. And then we're going to back it off. Hands down. Walk that left foot over off the left side of the mat. Let that knee release to the side as you roll into the outer edge of that left foot. Again, holding there or coming down to the forearms. Go ahead and lay down on your back again. We're gonna do what I call reclining pigeon. So cross the right leg over the left, making a figure 4. So you want the right ankle resting below the left knee. You're gonna use that right hand to gently guide that right knee forward. We're gonna hold here, maybe like a 10 count, 5 breaths. But I want to really hold here so we start to release this hip. Then if you want to deepen this, you're going to reach through the figure 4, interlace behind the left leg, take that left leg into the air and curl the head and shoulders up and hold here. So we're going to get into that left hamstring and into our right hip. And then let's lower it down and switch the cross of the legs. Left over right in our figure 4. Use that left hand, gently guide that leg out. Reach through the figure four, extend that right leg, lift the head and shoulders, press up through that right heel and hold. Let's bring the right foot down, uncross the legs. All right, now we're gonna switch over to our magic circle, our belt, whatever you have. You're gonna hold on, slip one foot up, the other foot, keep it bent, so knee bent, foot on the floor, just like my left leg is. And then you're gonna, keeping that leg straight, we wanna bring that foot over the head to where we can hold it. So we're gonna get into that hamstring. You wanna try to press the heel a little higher than the toes, so you really open up through the back of that leg. You don't want to go too far where you bend the knee, so find a spot where you can hold that leg. I like to count to 10 again, or like 5 breaths here. Then we're going to take this leg off to the right. We want to keep a neutral pelvis, so I'm going to make sure my left hip doesn't roll up. You can even press your left hand onto the left hip. And then we're gonna reach out of our center through that leg, through that right heel. So this is gonna open up that hip. And then we're gonna come back through center. This one's gonna be the killer. We're gonna switch the grip. Extend the left leg long, and we're gonna take this foot across the body. This is gonna get into that IT band, all down the side and back of that leg. We're gonna hold there and breathe into that. You can even roll up on the left hip a little bit. And then we're gonna come back into center. Take that leg out and we'll switch. I usually hold the hamstring and the hip opener for a 10 count. And then I hold the IT band for a 20 count, because we all need that one a little bit more. It's everybody's least favorite, but we all need it, right? We need the things we don't like. We're gonna open that hip, keeping our pelvis in neutral, so watch that right side doesn't roll up. Switch. Extend that right leg, take this across, maybe roll into that right hip and hold. And then back through center and take that off. Oh, that was so good. Let's do the feet flat, knees bent. Go ahead and lower the knees to the left. Look over that right shoulder in your spinal twist. Take a couple breaths into that back. Try to bring the knees over to the left onto the floor, but keep that right shoulder grounding down so you get a nice deep stretch. And then back through center. Let's take the knees to the right. Looking over that left shoulder, keep that left shoulder down. And then come back through. All right, and that's it. Just a nice little hamstring opener, hip opener, kind of help releasing out that low back a little bit. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I hope that helps. There's a lot of other stuff we can add to this. You can end with pigeon if you wanted to. You can end in shavasana, whatever you feel like you want to do. But I just wanted to do a very short, quick little stretch moment for the hips and the hamstrings and the low back that you can use. Add this to your morning practice or after your workout, just so you can help kind of relieve some of that back pain, especially if you get some in the morning. All right, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Show me some of the love on this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know below. Also, go ahead and drop below if there's any particular Pilates yoga bar videos that you guys really want to see, or any, videos focusing on certain areas. So, like bar for toned legs, etc. Go ahead and let me know below so I can give you guys what you're asking for. Until next time, stay well and stay fabulous.